listen, America spent all this time telling us Mexico is dangerous. Meanwhile, England landed in Kansas City and got robbed before their first match. Man, this World Cup is already unserious, yeah? Everyone was telling us, be careful in Mexico. Mexico isn't safe. But England touched down in America and their equipment van said, goodbye, lads. Man, boots gone, training gear gone, kits gone, balls gone, yeah? Bro, England haven't even played yet. And they've already taken their first loss, yeah? America, I'm sorry, but you had so much mouth for Mexico. Meanwhile, the first real pressing trap of England's World Cup happened to the equipment van. Man, England thought their first opponent was Croatia. No! But Kansas City Thieves said, no, we're first. That we are first. This World Cup just started and England, they already got robbed. Literally.
Bro, the World Cup being hosted in America is already a debacle. We are genuinely racially profiling players and fans as they come into our country for an international sporting event. And while the racism and ICE presence is one thing, there's also big corporations using the event and the goodwill around it to greenwash their crappy polluting companies. So I want to tell you a little story about a company called Saudi Aramco. Saudi Aramco is the world's largest corporate polluter. Not one of the largest corporate polluters, the largest corporate polluter. This one company has been responsible for an estimated 4% of all climate damaging emissions since 1965. One company. And that company is a FIFA World Cup sponsor. The World Cup has essentially handed a giant megaphone to a corporation that is literally poisoning the world. And I'm thinking, maybe they shouldn't do that. Here's the thing. When companies pretend to care about the environment through advertising and PR, we call that greenwashing. But there's another term for what's happening here, and it's called sports washing. That's when a corporation or a government uses the goodwill and global reach of a major sporting event to distract from their own controversy and harm. So I think letting Aramco slap its logo all over an event that is supposed to be about shared humanity and sportsmanship is deeply misleading because it makes people associate our planet's biggest corporate polluter with something that they love. And that's great PR for them, but it's a total sham. So I am asking you to sign the attached pledge to tell FIFA to dump Aramco from their World Cup sponsors. And after you sign, the Conservation Law Foundation will send you a ready-to-go message that you can send directly to FIFA on social media. It is a low-lift, big-impact ask. We want them to lose Aramco because dropping a sponsor like this will set a precedent for major sporting events and organizations being more responsible about who they take money from. Public campaigns like this have the ability to generate real pressure when they can prove there can be real consequences for these corporations whose products negatively affect the fans. Let's be honest. The World Cup is in our backyard right now. So if there was ever a moment that FIFA might actually listen to us, it's now. And you can love the World Cup and still demand that the people who run it hold themselves to a higher standard about who gets to use them for profit. This is one of those moments where collective public pressure can actually make a difference. So click the link or find one in my bio and tell FIFA that you don't want to see the world's biggest polluter's logo at the World's Cup.
I've watched every single World Cup since it were in black and white, and here's why I think the World Cup in USA this year is going to be the worst ever. First reason, Americans, I can't stand them and neither can you. Every time I open TikTok, every time I turn on the television, and every time I have the bleeding radio on, I have to listen to an American talking the biggest pile of twaddle I've ever heard in my life. And it's always something like this.
So I'm excited for two main things ahead of the Soccer World Cup 2026. Firstly, I'm excited to see how Cristiano Pulisic gets on. He's by far the best player in world soccer right now. I think he's going to bring it home for Team USA. And secondly, I'm looking forward to sitting down in the MetLife Stadium next to these Europeans and seeing how they react to being in one of the coliseums of global sport. Something that's so much better than those tiny little stadiums that they have over in England and Germany. If I have to hear any more of this friggin' nonsense, I'm going to get to the Red Hot Park and shove it up my own arse. But beyond the annoying Americans, there's a number of other things that are going to make this the worst World Cup ever. No, it's not the times. We were used to that in South Korea, getting up at 6 a.m. to watch England. And no, it's not the heat. We've had hotter World Cups than this. It's just the effect of uber-American capitalism on everything. The stadiums are going to be half bastard full because they're charging to a $3,000 a ticket. The corner flags are going to be on rubber plinths, and the goals are going to look like something you'd wheel out up 5-side pitch on AstroTurf at school. And I can friggin' guarantee every single water break there's going to be adverts for Gatorade or some other shite like that. And we just don't need it. Football's supposed to be pure joy, particularly a World Cup. I look forward to it so much. But I tell you what, I'm not looking forward to watching Germany thump Curacao 15-0 in an half-empty stadium while it's being advertised for fucking Geico and all these other American brands. I mean, good God, could they not just have given it to a proper football country like Qatar?
The World Cup is in a lot more shit than we think it is. In Boston, Foxborough Stadium is already saying that if they don't receive $7 million within the next few days, there will be no games held in Boston. Now is Miami sounding the alarm. Miami saying that they have not received a penny from the federal government as it was promised, and that if they do not receive the money within the next few days, they will have to start making cuts to security, to maintenance of the stadiums, and the Fan Fest itself. And then you have New Jersey, who has said that they have not received enough money, and they have no money to support the Fan Fest in the place where the final of the World Cup will be. What is the common thread on all this? The federal government does not deliver the money they promised they were going to deliver to the stadiums, and the stadiums are calling their bullshit because at the top of the ticket is a guy who is known for not paying his fucking bills. And then FIFA, on the other hand, is saying, I'm just here to play, man. You got to pay for everything else. I'm not going to talk to anybody. So what is the situation in the U.S.? We have two of the major places where games were going to be held, where some of the most important games were going to be held, sounding the alarm that they will not have money for security, for maintenance, for customer service, for everything else that involves, including the Fan Fest, which if you're not a soccer fan, a football fan, you don't understand the importance of the Fan Fest. But that's where we are. So is the U.S. ready? Fuck no. I'm Alex. This is my rant, and I'm out.
Are we Americans aware that the biggest event of the world is happening here in the United States? Why is no one talking about it? Why is no one planning to do watch parties? Why isn't the cities that are hosting it shutting down for the day? When I'm telling you that everywhere but here in the States, football, soccer, is the biggest thing in the world for them. The passion, the love, the admiration soccer fans have for soccer and their players, it's in a magnitude that we will never fully understand. To be hosting a World Cup event, it's such a privilege that I don't feel like the Americans truly understand how lucky, how fortunate we are to have this event happening in our land. The World Cup, it's such a good PR machine for the country hosting it that it creates tourism. It gives a good reputation to the country. It brings people from all over the world together and see how we Americans are as people, not what they see in the news. But given the fact that we have not done anything to promote it, to bring awareness, to bring people together, just shows you the type of country we're living in. And in no means I'm trying to come across as this crazy soccer fan who loves the sport and the game. But I did grow up in Ecuador. I did see when the World Cup was happening, what it did to my country, what it did to people, how people came together to celebrate, to cheer on for their teams. It was truly magical seeing people just happy and connecting for once. And really that's what soccer is really all about, is bringing people from all over the world, from all different classes together and sharing that same or that one commonality. The World Cup was supposed to bring tourism, was supposed to bring money into the economy, has completely been a disaster. FIFA's worst mistake was one, giving that stupid peace award to that freaking monster we have in office, and giving the World Cup to a country that could care less really for it. But I'll be watching, I'll be rooting for some countries, I'll be going to the bar or watch parties just to go watch the games. And I will be dancing when Shakira comes and performs the World Cup song. Let's all root for the underdog, let's all support other countries. And if we're looking to boycott the United States for whatever reason, do it. Because we Americans truly don't deserve nice things anymore. It's just sad.
Please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, and don't forget to comment what you think about this.